So if you've got um, one metric to unify the both sides of the joint, the better. If you've got one metric to unify, three parts of the pipeline, the better. If you've got one metric to unify like the whole company, the better. And so if you find friction between, I don't know, say the engineering team and the QA team, and maybe that's your current biggest bottleneck, that the handoff is taking too long, or there seems to be too much back and forth, like too much ping pong going on between
Yep.
two sides. Those are usually signs that that there's not enough shared context. And the way you resolve shared context is you anchor both teams to a meta metric, to something that aligns both of them. Things like shipping speed or iteration speed, or the DORA metrics, like shipping speed,
Yep.
without taking into account how many rollbacks you need to do, that sort of thing. But basically, come up with a composite metric or ideally something measurable. So ideally come up with a composite metric. I was going to say come up with a goal, but if you're scaling, sometimes metrics really do help. And so come up with a composite metric that encapsulates both sides of the joint, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then let the teams have at it, and ensure that they get the context of why this is important. Ideally, this all flows from your top level business goal of trying to just win. And the way you win is being very clear on what your mission is, and then being very clear on what the current biggest bottlenecks are to achieving said mission. So ideally, your metrics flow from there, and then every person on the team knows what their role is in fixing said bottleneck at the moment.
I love that. That's an excellent advice. I love the compositive goal or KPI or OKR or whatever potentially new tactics people use, but you want to take a left and a right side in that joint, and you want to create a composite metric for both of them to sort of go after, which means they will be a lot more aligned, and they will have a lot more shared context because it's the same metric for both. That's excellent.
And ultimately, the biggest composite metric of them all is the rate at which you're fulfilling your mission. How hard are you as a company? How hard are you going? Like, are you capturing a lot of market share? Or meaning, are you serving more people? Are you building your product better? Are you shipping faster?